Albert Wesker is one of the most diabolical villains, and he started off his reign with a good old plot twist 25 years ago in Resident Evil. Wesker rose through the ranks and became the captain of STARS after serving in the US military for years, so it came as a bit of a shock that Wesker was actually an Umbrella spy all along. Wesker made his big reveal as a double agent to Jill before releasing Tyrant to kill the remaining members of STARS. He would then go on to be a real pain in the ass for Chris Redfield and friends for quite some time, until he was thrown into a volcano and blasted with rockets. Although, if there's anything we know about Wesker, he does like to play the slow game, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him again one day. By the end of Pokemon Gold and Silver, you've traveled across both the Johto and Kanto regions, battled 16 gym leaders, and handed out elves to each member of the Elite Four. You take a final cruise through Mount Silver to find that there is still one final boss to defeat. Without a word from your opponent, you're thrust into battle against this mysterious trainer. Once the fight starts, we find out that it's none other than Red, the original trainer from Pokemon Red and Blue. Red had succeeded in becoming a Pokemon Master, and now that he was the very best, you had to battle him and his squad of Pokemon, which included Charizard, Blastoise, and of course, Pikachu. The long-awaited Final Fantasy VII Remake released last year, and while it may be called a remake, it's clear that it's a whole lot more than that. While some fans may have been expecting an exact retelling of the original story, it turns out we could be in a different timeline altogether, which is a bit of a plot twist. There are major differences in the story compared to the original, so even though we may know the events of FF7, they are not playing out as they did before, which is definitely keeping us on our toes for the future installments of the remake. Jealousy, greed, and paranoia. We didn't know it at the time, but these would be all of the ingredients for an inevitable backstabbing at the end of Vice City. Tommy and Lance teamed up to take down Ricardo Diaz, which led to Tommy saving Lance's life before they eventually succeeded in their quest for vengeance. Surely Lance wouldn't betray Tommy after all of that, right? Wrong. Lance was fed up with feeling second best to Tommy and wanted more control and more power. So in the final mission of the game, Lance reveals he's been plotting against Tommy and joining forces with his former boss Sonny to take him out. However, this is Tommy Vercetti we're talking about here. He wipes out Sonny, his goons, and Lance to solidify his dominance over Vice City once and for all. Braid's unique platforming and time-bending techniques, paired with the classic tale of saving the princess, is almost what the game is all about. It isn't until the final level that we discover we aren't really saving the princess at all. Throughout the game, we get a bit of foreshadowing that there may be something more sinister at play, but we only see the full picture once we get close enough to the princess to see that she was running from us the entire time. We had actually been playing the whole game in reverse because that perspective fit the narration of our so-called hero. We are not the hero though. We are, in fact, a total stalker. Call of Duty has had quite a few twists in its lifetime, but nothing stings more than the betrayal that General Shepard hands you in Modern Warfare 2. After losing 30,000 of his men in the events of Modern Warfare, Shepard's new mission is growing an army to take out Makarov, who rose to power and became Shepard's main target and main distraction. Within this new army is Task Force 141, which is composed of highly skilled soldiers such as Ghost, Soap, and Price. As we're led to believe that Makarov is our only threat, we continue to carry out Shepard's missions, only to be shot in cold blood after unknowingly delivering the last of Shepard's incriminating evidence directly to him. The mission itself, being titled Loose Ends, puts everything into perspective, as Shepard was merely tying up the loose ends of his own plot so he could be seen as a war hero. When it comes to family, many will do everything they can to keep them safe. This is what made John Marston strike a deal with the Pinkertons, who were holding his family hostage and working with the US government to clear out the last of the outlaws roaming the plains. The deal wasn't an easy one either. John had to kill his former gang members in exchange for his family's safety. While John does succeed, he doesn't quite get the safety he expected. Not long after returning to his ranch with his family having done the deed, US soldiers were at his doorstep looking to tie up a loose end of their own. Jon sends his wife and son away while he makes his final stand, truly saving them once and for all with his sacrifice. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic throws you into its universe and tasks you with taking down the evil Sith Lord Darth Malak, who's been rampantly destroying your fellow Jedi thanks to his training under the all-powerful Darth Revan. Once you're finally in the position to get face-to-face with Malak, you realize why you're giving him the business. You are Darth Revan and have been brainwashed by the Jedi to fight for the good side. Not only are you responsible for the Sith Lord that you've been trying to stop this whole time, but you're also handed a difficult decision to make. Stop Darth Malak or regain your power and fight on the dark side once more. Following along with the brainwashed theme, you already know that BioShock would make it on this list. Being hailed as one of the greatest twists in all of gaming, Would You Kindly took on a life of its own after its big reveal. After surviving a plane crash, you make your way through the crumbling, failed utopia of Rapture with the help of a man named Atlas, who politely guides you through each mission and helps you figure out what it is that needs to be done. Would You Kindly is one of Atlas's favorite phrases and tends to go unnoticed through most of the story, until you get to Andrew Ryan, the founder and leader of Rapture. Here, you discover that Atlas has not only been pretending to be someone else all along, but also kidnapped you as a child and brainwashed you to do his bidding. He does so by triggering his mind control on you by prefacing each task with the famous line, "Would you kindly?"
Would you kindly? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find it? Would you kindly find it? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a b****?
This means every action you made until this point was all a part of Frank's plan, and makes you think back to every time you heard that insidious phrase. Joker and Bats have been at each other's throats for as long as we can remember, and Arkham games made their ongoing rivalry trickier than ever. After being infected by Joker with a deadly virus, Batman had to find a cure and stop Joker from continuing to infect the entire city. It seems like Joker has been healed from being infected himself, which makes Batman's quest even more difficult. However, in the final scene, we see that the healthy Joker we've been battling this whole time wasn't the real Joker at all. It was actually Clayface, who definitely deserves an award for superior acting that even fooled the world's greatest detective. We're given tiny clues to this reveal throughout the game, from Harley's little quips to detective mode showing Joker without any bones, but it still caught many players by surprise. We traversed the galaxy as Samus, fought pirates, vanquished aliens, and did it all in our stylish spacesuit. However, we never got a glimpse of the one behind the suit until we defeated the final boss. And what do you know? Samus takes off the helmet and we discover that this kick-ass bounty hunter was a woman the whole time. For the 80s, this plot twist was not only unexpected, but would pave the way for female protagonists in games and solidify Samus as one of the first and most iconic women in video game history. This is the most recent game on our list, so we've put it last just in case you haven't gotten around to playing it just yet. The Last of Us Part 2 is full of twists, and while the death of Joel is a major one of its own, it did set the story into motion while simultaneously ripping our hearts out. However, an even bigger twist is making you play as his killer afterwards. What we originally thought was going to be Ellie's revenge quest turned into Abby's revenge quest too, as we discover that Abby's father was the Firefly surgeon that Joel killed in Part 1. The story begins with Ellie and Abby in a clear-cut, good guy, bad guy situation. But once the tables are turned, you start to see that they aren't so different after all. Getting revenge, no matter who or what you have to kill to do so, seems to be the game plan in this post-apocalyptic world that comes down to Ellie being the one to break the cycle, which is yet another plot twist of its own. Alright, so which one of these plot twists left your jaw on the floor? Which ones did we miss? Let us know in the comments and leave us a like and a sub if you enjoyed the video, because we've got a whole lot more over on our channel and new videos coming out daily for everything you need to know about games. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Peace!